October 3, 2025, NASA suddenly went dark. Just as 3I Atlas reached the orbit of Mars, live streams were cut, signals went silent, and the world was left with question. Why did NASA shut everything down? What exactly did they see near Mars? And could this mysterious interstellar object be more than just a comet? In this video, we uncover the chilling timeline, the strange anomalies, and the secrets NASA doesn't want you to know about 3I Atlas. It all began quietly in early 2024 when astronomers noticed a faint, fast-moving object cutting across the backdrop of distant star. At first glance, it looked like nothing unusual, another icy fragment drifting in the cold void. The observatory in Hawaii logged the discovery, and within weeks, telescopes from Chile to Canada confirmed its presence. Its official name became 3I Atlas, marking it as the third confirmed interstellar object after Oumuamua in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. What set 3I Atlas apart, however, was not its status as an interstellar wanderer, but the strange behavior it began to show almost immediately. Unlike ordinary comets, its brightness fluctuated in odd rhythms, sometimes dimming, then suddenly flaring, as though reflecting sunlight off surfaces that were far too smooth to be natural. Even in its first observations, it was clear that 3I Atlas would not be a silent visitor. Instead, it would become a question mark hanging over the future of astronomy, and perhaps the future of humanity itself. By February 2025, whispers began circulating among astronomers that the orbital models of 3I Atlas simply didn't work. Every time calculations were made, the numbers seemed to betray expectation. Its speed fluctuated in ways that could not be explained by gravity alone, and its spin appeared chaotic, as if some unseen hand was guiding it. Some researchers suggested outgassing, jets of vapor from volatile ices hidden inside the body. But even then, the patterns did not line up. The releases of material were not random. They seemed deliberate, timed, and at moments almost rhythmic. These whispers grew louder when independent observatories noticed that the object was slightly adjusting its path in ways that resembled controlled braking. Something about it felt guided, intentional, almost like the burn of an engine hidden beneath a shell of ice and dust. Publicly, scientists avoided the word artificial, but in private, some admitted it was impossible to ignore. In March 2025, the first reports of a mission stunned the community. Radio telescopes detected faint but repeating bursts of energy coming from 3I Atlas. They were weak, irregular, and easily dismissed as background noise. But when those signals were analyzed, they revealed an uncanny rhythm, pauses, returns, and sequences that did not match natural cometary activity. It was not strong enough to be called communication, yet not random enough to be ignored. The European Southern Observatory even published a short, carefully worded report mentioning unusual emission. Within days, the report was removed, archived, and never mentioned again in official statements. But for those who had seen it, the implication was clear. 3I Atlas might not just be a drifting rock. It might be trying to say something. Then came the most controversial discovery of all. In April 2025, the Hubble Space Telescope, peering across millions of miles, recorded faint distortions in the reflected light of 3I Atlas. The data suggested angles, flat planes, and geometric shadows that should not exist on a natural body. The evidence was far from conclusive, yet strong enough to unsettle many astronomers who privately admitted they were looking at something unnatural. Instead of a tumbling shard of ice, 3I Atlas was beginning to resemble a structured object, something with surfaces, edges, and symmetry. If true, then the implications were staggering. This was no comet. This was no asteroid. It was a visitor, deliberate, designed, and foreign to our solar system. By June, the mystery deepened. Radar readings from the Arecibo successor facility hinted that 3I Atlas had slowed, just enough to throw off prediction. A natural comet cannot simply reduce speed. Its momentum is fixed. Yet here, the evidence was mounting that 3I Atlas was not obeying the rules of celestial mechanics. NASA publicly attributed the anomaly to outgassing events, but leaked radar images suggested surfaces reflecting in ways that looked metallic. Amateur astronomers, tracking it with their own instruments, captured flashes of light too bright to be explained by random ice. The story was escaping the control of official agencies, and the public was beginning to suspect that something extraordinary was happening. By July 2025, space agencies around the world were on high alert. China's CNSA reportedly held secretive briefings on the object. Russia's Roscosmos leaked memos warning of anomalous craft-like behavior. The European Space Agency tightened security around its Mars mission data. And in Washington, the Pentagon quietly classified certain reports under UAP protocols. The sudden secrecy was telling. For decades, comets and asteroids were tracked openly, their data freely available. But 3I Atlas was different. Leaks claimed that international agencies were no longer treating it as an ordinary object, but as a potential vehicle, something controlled, something dangerous, and something that might be heading straight for Mars. With the world's eyes turning to the red planet, speculation exploded. Some scientists insisted it was natural, pointing to possibilities of cryovolcanic eruptions or new forms of interstellar ice. But others, emboldened by Harvard's Avi Loeb, argued it looked far more like a solar sail, an object designed to travel using starlight, a concept humanity itself was only beginning to test. Was it a fragment of an alien probe, a derelict craft drifting through space for eons? Or more unsettling, was it still active, slowing, adjusting, and steering as it approached Mars? Each theory was more alarming than the last, and with every unanswered question, the stakes grew higher. By late August, simulations confirmed 3I Atlas would pass dangerously close to Mars. This was not a random flyby. Its path curved inward, synchronizing with Mars' orbit as though the planet were its target. The margin of error was shrinking, and with it, humanity's sense of safety. If it struck Mars, the crater would span miles, potentially disrupting decades of exploration. If it simply entered orbit, then the question was even darker. Why would an interstellar object seek to rendezvous with Mars? Was it coincidence, or was there intent behind its path? Mars, humanity's stepping stone to the stars, was now the center of a cosmic mystery. On October 1st, 2025, NASA's official live streams tracking 3I Atlas cut out without warning. Mars reconnaissance orbiter feeds were interrupted. The European Mars Express also reported signal interruption. No official explanations followed. For decades, the public had grown used to instant access to Mars imagery and data. Yet, at the most crucial moment, everything went dark. What was NASA seeing that could not be shown? What was so extraordinary that silence became safer than truth? Whispers began circulating from inside NASA. Insiders claimed 3I Atlas had slowed again, this time aligning with Mars' orbital velocity. The object was no longer just passing through, it was matching speed, as though preparing to stay. If true, then the implications were staggering. Natural bodies do not match velocities with planets. This was not a comet at all. It was maneuvering, adjusting, and holding position near Mars. Humanity was not witnessing a rock, but a rendezvous. If 3I Atlas was controlled, then by whom or by what? Was it an autonomous probe launched eons ago from a distant star system? Was it a relic of an ancient civilization drifting until it found a world of interest? Or worse, was it active surveillance, a craft deliberately approaching Mars at this precise moment? No answers came, only silence. And in that silence, speculation filled the void. Some argued it was ancient, others feared it was deliberate, and many wondered if humanity itself was being observed, measured, and judged. The most chilling element was not the object itself, but NASA's reaction. Instead of transparency, they shut down communication. Instead of explanations, they gave silence. And in the absence of answers, fear grew. What was too dangerous to reveal? Why was secrecy chosen over science? For many, the shutdown was the clearest sign of all, that 3I Atlas was not what we were told, and that its approach to Mars marked a turning point in history. NASA was not just hiding data, they were hiding the truth. Perhaps 3I Atlas is a relic, a messenger cast across the galaxy to drift until it found another civilization. Perhaps it is technology older than humanity itself, still operating after millions of years. Or perhaps it is something new, something alive, directed, and intentional. The possibilities extend beyond imagination, yet each one forces us to confront the same conclusion. We are not alone. For the first time, humanity is staring at the undeniable presence of something greater, and its first stop is Mars. If 3I Atlas is truly artificial, then everything changes. It means civilizations beyond Earth exist. It means they can cross interstellar distances, and it means they have chosen to approach us, not directly, but through Mars. The political, social, and religious consequences of such a revelation are incalculable. Humanity stands on the brink of discovery or denial, and the silence from NASA only deepens the uncertainty. And so the world waits. With live streams dark and data cut off, all we have are whispers, leaks, and fragments of truth. 3I Atlas is near Mars, holding its position, and yet no official word has been spoken. Is this the first encounter with intelligence from beyond our world? Or is it a cosmic coincidence that only appears extraordinary? For now, no one can say. All we know is that NASA has shut down, Mars has become the stage, and humanity is left staring into the dark, waiting for an answer that may never come. As days passed after the shutdown, observers waited for routine images from Mars rovers and orbiters. None arrived. Even the Perseverance rover, which had been transmitting near-daily updates from Jezero crater, fell silent in the public record. NASA quietly claimed technical difficulties. Yet the timing was too precise, immediately after 3I Atlas entered Mars orbit. This was not coincidence. This was control. For the first time in decades, the red planet, once a symbol of openness in exploration, became shrouded in silence. The blackout itself became the message. Something had happened on Mars, something extraordinary, and the one agency capable of explaining it had chosen not to speak. Then leaks began to surface. Anonymous insiders hinted at orbital irregularities around Mars. Others spoke of reflections not consistent with natural body. One particularly chilling claim suggested that 3I Atlas had released smaller fragments, objects that appeared to arrange themselves in formation. Was this debris breaking apart, or something deploying deliberately into Martian orbit? Though unverified, the whispers spread like wildfire. If true, then humanity was no longer looking at a single interstellar visitor. It was looking at something capable of action, of replication, of staging itself above another planet. The implications were staggering. Around the same time, reports emerged of an emergency gathering in Geneva. Representatives from NASA, ESA, CNSA, and Roscosmos allegedly held closed-door discussion. No agenda was released, no minutes published. Witnesses saw convoys of officials guarded heavily by military units. For many, this was the strongest sign that 3I Atlas was being treated not as a scientific curiosity, but as a matter of planetary security. What was said in those rooms remains unknown, but history suggests that when secrecy and fear converge, the truth is often more terrifying than the speculation. If leaders were preparing for impact or for contact, the world's people were left in the dark. This was not the first time humanity faced such a mystery. In 2017, Oumuamua swept through our solar system, its elongated shape and unexplained acceleration sparking debate that continues to this day. Harvard's Avi Loeb argued it could have been artificial, perhaps a probe. The mainstream dismissed him. Yet now, with 3I Atlas slowing, braking, and approaching Mars, Loeb's warnings sound less like speculation and more like prophecy. If Oumuamua was the first messenger, then 3I Atlas is the sequel. And unlike before, this visitor has not merely passed through, it has stayed. The echoes of the past are now the alarm of the present. The silence continued. No new data, no new images, no explanation. But one truth remains: something has changed. 3I Atlas is no longer just a comet. It is an unknown presence orbiting Mars, and humanity has been forced into the role of spectator. Are we on the verge of contact, or are we standing before a force too vast, too foreign to even comprehend? For now, the mystery deepens. The shutdown grows longer, and the world watches Mars, waiting for a revelation that could rewrite everything we know about life in the universe.